We're finding that in many situations, as we solve our transportation and housing job issues, the next horizon for us is how do we deal with the health of our residents. So I was so pleased today to see the nurses, students from the San Francisco State area that are really dovetail into that next challenge for all of us. And I really see today the future for housing is a full integration of health, transportation, residency, and services, and our original goal of really safe, decent, and affordable housing for all people of all income levels. So with that, Mayor, I want to congratulate you again for this wonderful project. Matt is a great friend, and Matt had my job at one point in time, and he takes great pleasure in reminding me of that as I sweat the details with my issues with the Department of Finance as well. You're not alone. But anyway, thank you all for having me here today. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Lynn, we appreciate your kind words. Joan was writing down every word that you said, and Evanoff is taking pictures, so we're going to have a direct pipeline to the Department of Finance this afternoon, and we'll get everything we asked for by tomorrow morning. And Matt, in your case, all this was also taped, so we're going to use your feed as a motivational factor in spring training for the Dodgers. They're going nowhere. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Our next speaker is someone I worked with for 13 years on the city council. He's lived in Union City for decades and probably remembers as well as anybody here the transformation physically that this land has taken place. And he's currently our Alameda County Supervisor in District 2, Richard Valle. Richard?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have the distinction of remembering when this was Pacific State Steel, and as a kid, we would come down here and play in a lot of debris after Little League games. But I want to give credit to Judge Patel, the 9th District Court, who assigned Mr. and Mrs. Gruen to be the special masters of this project way back when it was nothing more than a brownfield, and the pensioners from Pacific State Steel had been robbed of their health care benefits by the owners of Pacific State Steel, and through Judge Patel's decision and with the efforts of the Gruens and council members Dutra Vernacci, Manny Fernandez, and myself, we led the fight to turn this brownfield into what you currently see. So thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Gruen. If you're here, I didn't see you. Thank you so much for what you've done. Let me also thank Mark Evanoff. Mark Evanoff and I and some members of Mid-Peninsula Housing were faced with a very difficult impasse where the state had rated this project, Mid-Peninsula, at a lower rating. So we put together a small team and we went to a meeting in Oakland, and we sort of enlightened the officials, and in particular the Tax Credit Allocation Committee, about the project. And as a result of that meeting, the project became the highest rating, I think, in the state of California or in the Bay Area, and then the second rating in the Bay Area or the state of California for a transit-oriented development. And as a result of that rating, we closed the loop on the financing for the second phase, which Matthew earlier mentioned. So thank you, Matthew, and Mark Evanoff, who championed that meeting. Thank you so much, Mark. And finally, let me say thanks to Mid-Peninsula, because through their efforts and through the efforts of several council members and through the efforts of many people in our community, we ask that we include young people from this neighborhood to be a part of this project. The Alameda County Building Trades deserves a pat on the back because they also included apprentices, young people from our neighborhood, to help build this project. Thank you so much for all that effort. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
As Matt had talked about the residents over here in the Mid-Peninsula Housing Development, and that's really, you know, the beauty of this development to this point is that we're actually seeing people living there. It's one thing to say we got, you know, so many units planned, we have so many units under construction, but now we have so many people actually living there. And the next speaker is a long-time resident of Union City, and she actually lives in this fine facility to the south here is Colleen Dutton Cook. Miss Cook.
I just want to say, don't feel bad about your team. I was raised an Eagles fan. But Raiders. So, good afternoon. My name is Colleen, and I grew up in Union City. I have lived here most of my life. In fact, I attended Logan High, and I'm a single mother of 2 daughters. I'm gonna get teary-eyed. Thank you. Don't worry, I came prepared. When it comes to my living situation, I've always had 2 priorities. One was to stay in this area because we were very close to our church community, which is here. They are like family to us. Sorry. And 2, to live in a neighborhood that felt safe for my daughters. I think I'll just look down. In fact, one time I asked my oldest daughter, would you rather be in a 1-bedroom with all of us or in a bad neighborhood and have your own room? And she said she'd prefer a safe neighborhood. So for the past 5 years, we lived in a 600 square foot 1-bedroom apartment. It cost $12.50 per month and even had a mold problem. I had a steady job at a medical finance company, but on my salary, that was all I could afford, so we made the best of it. But it was small to say the least, and as hard as I tried to work my magic, we always felt cramped. Then on October 28th, 2011, everything changed for my family. That is the day we received the keys to our brand new apartment. It was a grand day. I'm sure Sarah, who's the community manager here, thought we were all crazy because honestly, it was like one of those shows where they remake the house and everyone comes in and they're like, oh my gosh, because we're like, look at the shower curtain rod, it's curved, and you know, that's so nice, the curtain won't stick to us, and just all those little things that just make such a difference. And I have friends who live in, you know, beautiful homes in Brentwood and places, and they came and they were just in awe as well. They loved my apartment, and we all love it. In my 30-plus years, I never had my own bedroom, and now not only was I going to have my own bedroom, but so were both of my daughters. That is something I had not thought to be within my grasp, but it was here now. In the past year, we have made our apartment into our home, and we have taken pride in our rooms, decorating them just so, and enjoying the luxury that comes with being able to take a mental break. That's for me. And sometimes a time out, I won't say who. We've also been able to become a part of the community. I've been able to share my love and knowledge for extreme couponing and healthy eating on a budget by teaching classes in the community room. I've also been able to take part in the community garden, which I hope you guys all get to see it. I love it. It's been a great success with the neighborhood children. They all came together to help plant the flowers and the vegetable plants, and they are also excited to watch them grow and ask me, you know, what type of plants they are and what's going to come out of them and when they're going to get to eat the fruits of their labors. My oldest daughter is in college now, and I too have dreams to finish college and become a nurse. These dreams wouldn't nearly be as possible without a beautiful, stable, and safe place to live. Station Center apartments are so much more than a place to live. They have become a place that we are proud to call our home. Sorry. I just want to thank everyone who had something to do with providing this beautiful home for me and my girls. Thank you.
I told Colleen that she set a record for the most tears at a grand opening speech, but she'll probably hold that record for quite a while too. We've heard from you know, the state, the county, the city, the residents, but at some point it comes down to you have to get some private money going somewhere, and one of the aspects of this was